Insect management, Bob?
Spray when needed, yeah, that's pretty self-explanatory. We've talked on back calls and things for years about scout off and go with your fields twice a week, every other day. Nobody really wants to do that. You know, people get talked out of growing canola and think you got to take that much care of it. So as far as insect management, what we've tried to do is streamline it, make it a deal that like we're going out, first off, we're using treated seed. So we got systemic insecticide in the seed, which crops for helix to take care of aphid protection pretty much into the January. When we go out to put our first roundup or second roundup if we need to in the fall, those split deals, we're checking for diamondback moth larvae, other worms, because the systemic treated seed insecticide is not going to get the worms, it's just going to get aphids. So if we see a threshold out there or close to the threshold and we're going over anyway with Roundup, why not put in a pyrethroid for $3.50, $4 an acre and sterilize the field? So we've got to do that the last 3 or 4 years instead of just, okay, yes, now we got to go for a second trip anyway 3 weeks later, and it's worked. We can kind of forget about this thing, and then it goes dormant, and then we're scouting for when we're going to come out and spray the Roundup in the early spring, in February or March, and you're checking to see when you're going to time that. You're going to check for bugs then. And so, and then if we need to, and usually we do, we're going over it anyway, we'll put another pyrethroid in it, and that usually we can cruise until the middle of April when we have the cabbage bug infestation. It almost always happens. And by doing this, instead of looking at your fields all the time, 2 or 3 times maybe, go out, kick it around, whatever, and then we can come to the cabbage aphid situation in April. In my part of the world, it's usually around tax dates, around April 15th. That's when Jeff and I both have almost a 0 threshold for insects. You can't time it too early. You can't put that one on prophylactically. You've got to actually see them getting ready to ramp up in colonies. But what I'm saying is when you start to see them, watch the weather, know that if the wind's going to blow for the next 4 days, you can't get a plane up, communicate with your sprayers. That's also the same time spraying fungicides on wheat. They can be in high demand. Talk to them 3 months ahead of time and say, hey, talk to them now. Say, hey, in April, I'm probably going to need you to do this. If you can't get a plane in the air, don't be afraid to use a row crop sprayer. A narrow tire, 11, 13-inch tire, spread apart, 90, 100, 120-foot booms, to get enough water, to get it done on time, to take the cabbage aphids out before they explode is money well spent. And what you ruin running over, you're going to be way ahead of if you just wait another 5 days. Because usually what happens, they explode and you will lose an acre here, an acre there, an acre there. It's gone. And you'll see it when you swallow it or push it. Also, sometimes those levels can get so high, I've heard people spraying 3, 4, 5 times because the wind kept them from getting an airplane up. So be very, very proactive when you talk about the cabbage aphid.
Harvest management, Bob, you want to handle the swathing?
Yeah, you've got a few methods: swathing, pushing, direct harvest, or direct harvest with a desiccant, which is labeled now in Oklahoma and Kansas. So those are your methods. And if you're going to have 80 acres or a quarter and you don't have anybody else to help you with, you're out in the middle of nowhere, direct harvest is an option. Well, people will call me and say, hey, my terrace tops and my sand knobs in the field are turning yellow and then the low ground is gourd green. How am I going to harvest this? And when do I wait to do it? Well, a crop like that, the reason we swath is to kill it and even up the maturity. So everybody runs into trouble almost always every year unless your fields are completely even and everything ripens the same, which it can happen, but it's exception, not the rule. The way I choose to do it is swathing. It's like what they've done in Canada forever since they've been growing this stuff, not reinventing the wheel, just copying what they do. And we're going in there with the Draper swather at a 50-60% color change. That is a decision when 50 to 60% of the seeds in the pods from top to bottom have started to turn color. There's a little process to do that. You can get on the web, get it on our website stuff. But anyway, when this time is determined, and that's probably the hardest thing about swathing is picking when to fire up and go. If you're too early, you can leave pounds in the field because you'll kill it before it fully matures. And test weight reduction, you can lose several hundred pounds if you swap too early. You can lock chlorophyll in, which gives you a green seed discount. So those are the next. If you wait too long, as this is maturing, it will start to shatter. And if you wait a day too long, you probably can do it in the middle of the night with a lot of humidity. You can get it knocked down, and about one more day, you're done, and you're gonna direct harvest it. So there's a fine window to swathing to get the maximum yield, get the quality right. Now, that is probably the hardest part of growing canola, I think. But once you've done it for a while and you identify it, have enough equipment to take care of it, and do it, if you're gonna handle many acres. If you're gonna have small acreage, direct harvesting is fine. Direct harvesting with the desiccant would probably be better because you can even up your maturity, make sure your moisture is okay, and it'll be a simpler process.
When that crop is ready to harvest, get out of the wheat and go harvest it, especially if you're gonna direct harvest. That crop has no tolerance for wind. It will shatter out. You're talking a crop that's worth a whole lot more money than your wheat is. When it's ready to cut, you put the combines in it. You don't finish the half section you're working on. You don't, do this, go play golf, whatever your poison may be. You go and you harvest your canola.